Okay, guys. All right. Thanks, Donnie. Much appreciated. Thanks, Pete. Um,
Yep.
all right. All right. Welcome to the live call, guys. Sorry for being late, guys. I was in a meeting, and looks like things are about to explode, guys. This is an ABS. This is real. Um, now I'll tell you what's happening. First of all, the one of the biggest groups actually in Brazil are about to go, and they name a date on the 23rd of this month. They're about to go. Okay. They already got the official they got the official green light actually for them to go. They came from Washington. Okay. So that's definitely happening. You got Mauricio Castaño, which is a sovereign whale, and he'll be going on the 25th. Okay, the 25th. He's got a date for the financial instruments to be released for the 145 countries around the world. So it's that is big. I also heard actually from some of my contacts, actually from the Admiral contacts, and they heard that that hopefully today the 4B will be released, or the notifications will come through. So just be grounded with that, and we'll hope that it does happen. Um, Now, this is the oh yeah, there was actually a meeting actually a few days ago actually with all the paymasters, and I can't tell you too much, but it's all go. They got the green light. So is it going to be Christmas on July? Yes. And also Mauricio will be paying actually all his employees, the people that I worked with him actually throughout the years to get this started. They're all going to get paid by the first week of August. Okay. Now, this is the one of the intels that came in. This is all good news, guys. I'll read it out to you guys. I'll give it to Carpathia because I got a sore throat. Carpathia, you there?
I'm right. I'm right here. I'll read it for you.
Okay, Carpathia, if you want to read that to the audience um, from beginning to end, appreciate that.
Okay,
It's
you're
there and
welcome. I'm
what's
ready.
up? Yeah.
There it is. Can we get bring this up a little bit? Ooh, it's teeny tiny. Okay. Is
Yeah.
that the one where it says good news?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is good news. It
Yes.
says the first in-person negotiation meeting, tabletop meeting, began today and will remain ongoing until the last seller receives their respective payment. The expectation is that the individual service schedule
Okay.
for each
Okay.
salesperson will be available either today or at the latest tomorrow. About the transaction, the main buyer is presented as the president of the Sovereign Committee of 209 nations, established under the auspices of the United Nations. According to the information received, the corresponding treaty was agreed upon in 2017, but its implementation only progressed after the signing of 209 nations completed at the end of May this year, with China and the United States being the last two countries to adhere. According to the statement, the sovereigns would be conducting the acquisition on behalf of the United States Treasury, and a significant portion of the gold would be used to build reserves to support the USN, described as a gold backed digital currency. According to the text received, the signing of the treaty would allow the start of the implementation of the so called quantum financial system, QFS, and the rescue process, with the proposal of a gradual transition from fiat currencies to a monetary system based on gold and other assets. And then there's another section here. It says values, immunities, and benefits. The treaty would also stipulate that gold would be acquired at or very close to the face value, limiting administrative expenses to a maximum of 3%, in addition to up to 3% allocated to the payment of commissions related to the operation. Another point mentioned is that the participants in the transaction would be entitled to tax immunity. The statement also mentions granting criminal immunity, diplomatic passports to vendors, and upon request, the issuance of grey, Grey, passports, described as documents not linked to a specific nationality. Given the projected number of over 2 million contracts, there would be numerous signatories representing the buyer's side. The majority of these would be members of internationally recognized economic committees. That's a new section. It says buyers and process. Prior to the negotiation meeting, representatives would be responsible for confirming the transactions. It was also reported that there is an intention for future TTM, tabletop meetings, to be held in a virtual format. At the meeting, one of the signatory representatives of the buyer must present all the necessary documentation to comply with international anti-money laundering requirements. This will allow the planned steps for each participant to proceed. And that is it.
Thanks,
Sound like
Carpathia. Yeah.
Welcome.
That's what came through, guys. So looks like the tabletop meetings are already started. That's when they do the renegotiation with the actual people in the redemption table or with the buyers, so they can renegotiate at a good rate. So it looks like we're definitely actually there. Okay, so are we in for next week? It looks like it, and we're all waiting for that to happen. The actual private bondholders were supposed to be paid today. Again, it was cancelled. It's moved on to next week, and in my personal opinion, it might be a shotgun release where everything gets released at the same time. So that's good if it does, because I hate to be the first one and then you guys come in later and how long. I would like everyone actually to be blessed at the same time. So let's see what happens. All right, guys. So that's what I have for you. That were the massive news that I have for you at the moment. And waiting that the 4B will be, hopefully, the notification will release today, as I got told. Again, I cannot confirm that, and I've always said to you the 4B is a military operation. We can only go by rumors or whatever we're hearing, and even the Admiral has got no direct access to the intel concerning the 4B. That's how tight it is. It's a military operation, right? And only these people will know actually when notifications will be released. So, my advice is to check your email every day and see whether that's come through or not. Okay, we start off with questions and questions. So, Joe, if you got a question to ask.
Hey guys, how are you? Okay, so I've heard from a contact whose partner works in a bank and who's been trained in redemption appointments, all of that, and QFS and everything. He's under an NDA, but she isn't. She isn't, and they discussed this between themselves before he started training. So she has said that he has been told to have his staff and everything prepared for Tuesday. Everything is a shotgun release. Everything goes on Tuesday. Apparently everything, Iraq, everything is done. There's nothing else, not a single thing that has to be done or passed or anything. Everything, every single thing is in place. If they don't go on Tuesday, if they don't release it, then it's by choice. Not because something else has to be completed or has to be done. It'd be choice just not to go. Okay, not to release. So, yeah. Stay grounded. Get excited, but within reason. And make sure you are 100% prepared mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, in the best shape you can possibly be. Just in case this is the time that it does actually go. Okay, so I'm not saying it's going. I've been told that it's going on Tuesday. Okay, this coming Tuesday, whatever day that is, 21st, I think. So, yeah, make sure you're prepared in case it does go, but don't expect it. Just keep your ears and eyes open, keep checking your emails, keep checking the Telegram groups. Just be aware, okay? Be very, very aware, okay? All right, guys, take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye. I've just been informed that the first wave of medbed operators are now in the medbed centres awaiting to treat you. Awaiting to treat the bondholders, the whales, the sovereigns, the group leaders, the members in the groups, the humanitarians, and everybody else that is part of the process. The medbed centres are not fully staffed, but they are fully staffed with their doors open with the first wave of medbed operators. The second wave will come on later when they're available to the public. But right now they're fully staffed with the first wave of medbed operators, and they're on standby in the centres, doors open, waiting for that green light, which is supposed to happen within the next 48 hours. Now, you will be able to, some people, if you are in very much need, will be able to have their medbed procedure before their redemption appointment, but only if you're in, very, very much need. Otherwise, those who receive humanitarian funds, this does include bondholders, it does include whales, it does include group leaders, sovereigns, all that kind of thing. Pretty much no one is excluded. That's part of the redemption process. You will be able to book your medbed appointment in about an hour after for an hour after your redemption appointment, or from an hour after you receive your funds. Okay, once your funds are liquid, you can book your appointment for an hour after, something like that. Okay, but you will get the instructions, so just follow the instructions. But yeah, medbed centres, the ones doing the early medbed appointments before they're available to the public, are fully staffed with the first wave of medbed operators on standby, ready to begin treating all those involved within the next 48 hours, provided they give the green light. Okay, but they're ready. They're there, they're ready, doors are open, they're just twiddling their thumbs, waiting for you. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.
I would say to everybody on the currency side, which is mostly what I represent, relax, let it happen. Once this flow starts, which we're hoping again will be within 24 hours from now, we can't say tomorrow will be because it's already tomorrow there. It's all going to flow. It's going to start really happening, and it's going to be wonderful for humanity.
Yeah, I just want to make everyone clear for the 4B, I said this before, the 4B is a military operation. No matter how much the intel gurus said, no, we're hearing that tomorrow, take this a grain of salt because no one's got the inside scoop. Okay, it's a military operation. They're the only ones that will find out actually when we get the notification. Now, we've been told from my side, I'm not sure about you, Mike, whether you heard or not, but for the dinar, if we're waiting actually for dinar actually to be listed on the Forex, that is public. Mm-hmm. We are private, and we're going to get a special rate, not what's on Forex. And I've been told that we'll know when the notifications do come out, and that will be for us for the 4B. So at the end of the day, we've got no control of it.
President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials involved in this scam, including former CIA Director John Brennan, former Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI Director James Comey, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion, no corruption, except on the part of Barack Obama and the weaponized intelligence agencies at the time. The Russia hoax was a blatant lie, all ginned up by Democrat political operatives that were signed off on by then President Obama and leaked to the news media to launch a years-long witch hunt against President Trump and his first administration. Allies of the president, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr., were disgustingly smeared as Russian assets, and some even had their lives destroyed because of this vicious lie. The president's first 2 years in office had this fake distraction hanging over it, and endless resources, time, and political capital were spent having to debunk these lies from the highest levels of our government. Now, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by Director Gabbard, the truth has finally come to light. And this truth vindicates President Trump, his family, and his many allies and associates who were smeared with defamatory lies. President Trump was right from the beginning about all of this, and we are grateful that justice can be served. Now, we have even more damning evidence implicating those who tried to sabotage a duly elected president and did grave material harm to our republic. Thanks to additional important work done by CIA Director Ratcliffe, Committee Chairman Rick Crawford over the past few months, a newly declassified 2020 report prepared by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, which DNI Director Gabbard has declassified, found that the intel community did not have any direct information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help elect President Trump in 2016. And in fact, Russia was actively preparing for a Hillary Clinton victory. But at the unusual direction of Barack Obama at the time, the intel community published implausible intelligence suggesting otherwise. Why? To sabotage the incoming president. This is truly one of the greatest political scandals in American history. And reporters at legacy outlets, some of which are sitting in this room today, like the New York Times and the Washington Post, were ridiculously awarded Pulitzer Prizes for their perpetuation of this hoax. It's well past time for those awards to be stripped from the journalists who receive them. It is not journalism to propagate political disinformation in service of the Democrat Party and those in the intelligence community who hand over out of context and fake intelligence to push a false.
A bill to be entitled An Act Relating to Payment Stablecoin.
Senator Burton, you are recognized to explain that bill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senator, Senate Bill 314 creates a comprehensive regulatory framework for payment stablecoin issuers in Florida. It aims to integrate state oversight with federal standards, specifically the Federal Genius Act, to ensure consumer protection and financial stability. This bill permits OFR to apply for the state to be the regulator of stablecoin issuers payment systems here in Florida. It's important that we do this today, so I'd appreciate your support.
Secretary will unlock the board, and senators will proceed to vote. Have all senators voted? Secretary will lock the board and record the vote.
37 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
We want you to hear this. You know, as one bipartisan group still trying to get a Clarity Act done. We touched on this briefly. You would not want a Clarity Act that increased the ability of illicit finance to take place suddenly with the blessings of law, would you?
Well, thank you, Senator. I mean, it's vital that the Clarity Act provide tools.
Could you speak a little closer?
It's vital that the Clarity Act provide rules and tools for the Treasury Department and the administration to be able to counter illicit finance.
So you would be concerned if the Trump Department of Justice, with technical assistance, said that the standard proposed by industry and some of my Republican colleagues would actually make it easier for illicit finance to take place. This has just happened in the last couple of days. That would concern you, wouldn't it?
It would be concerning, yes, Senator.
Good. I tend to work with you and the Secretary. I want this done, and I am tired of being in crypto hell. But we got to do it in a way that doesn't make this circumstance worse. I want America to lead in digital assets. But if we get it wrong, the downside ramifications could be huge as well.
Forwarded from A New Day, the final stretch before everything changes. Note to Anons, Patriots, you have been through more than you let on, more than anyone knows, the sleepless nights, the relatives, friends, and strangers that laughed at you. Moments you questioned yourself, times you had nothing left, but still chose to believe. You held on when others folded. You stayed when it would have been easier to walk away. That makes you rare, dangerous, and destined. You may not feel it right now, but this is the final stretch before everything changes. There will come a day when you sit in stillness and remember the version of you who refused to give up. The one who showed up broke, exhausted and ridiculed, but never let go of the vision. The day is coming, and when it does, you will cry, not because you are hurting, because it all finally made sense. All the pain, doubt, delays, and all the missed exits. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You weren't meant to get rich fast. You were meant to become someone unshakable. You are awake, alive, and know this matters. Now you're too far in to turn around and way too close to fold under pressure. The storm is loud, but your intuition is louder, and it's been screaming from the beginning. Hold on, just hold. This moment is once in a lifetime. You won't see it again. Not like this, not at this price, not with this setup. So breathe, trust your gut, silence the noise, and when this ends, when it finally ends, you'll be the one they come to asking how you knew, and you'll smile, because deep down, way down, you always knew. I'm proud of you. You're almost there. Finish the mission. I love you. And this was posted by Danielle Knows a Lot. Danielle Knows a Lot Onyx. This was forwarded from Q17, also at Disclose TV and Whiplash 347. I cannot confirm if this is correct, whether this is their opinion. Anyway, it says, Trump, by the time the final whistle sounds on Sunday, nearly 6 billion viewers will have watched this World Cup. That's a record by many, many times over. At Disclosed TV, 2 days before Football World Cup, Friday to Sunday, Super Bowl, Tuesday to Thursday, the King's written decree, the Clarity Act being signed into legislation by King Trump. The decree is King DJT signing the Clarity Act into legislation 2 days ahead of the Football World Cup. Apache stock market collapse, then King DJT to use emergency powers to sign the Clarity Act. At Whiplash 347, could it be that Trump makes an announcement to the 6 billion people watching the event? I'd like to see MSM try to stop that. We shall wait and see.
Thank you, my loves. Stay calm, stay aligned, and keep your light strong. This video is for general informational and spiritual discussion only. All content shared here reflects publicly available intel, spiritual perspectives, and personal interpretation. Nothing in this video is medical advice, financial advice, or guaranteed prediction. Always use your own discernment and make decisions that feel right for you.
the stars were spun in space. Our woven paths were pre-designed. Destiny drew us face to face, two wandering souls at last aligned. The hands of time will fade to dust. The oceans dry, the mountains fall. Yet in my heart you hold a trust that burns beyond the end of all. Through every storm and shifting tide, you are the anchor in my chest. I'll walk forever by your side, by sacred, timeless devotion blessed. For you're the answer to my prayer, a sacred gift sent from above, a grace so deep, a bond so rare, enfolded in a perfect love. The hands of time will fade to dust. The oceans dry, the mountains fall. Yet in my heart you hold a trust that burns beyond the end of all. Through every storm and shifting tide, you are the anchor in my chest. I'll walk forever by your side, by sacred, timeless devotion blessed.
And when the final sun grows cold and all the cosmos drifts away, my arms will still have strength to hold the love that cannot know decay. Unmatched by heaven's hand design,
Through endless years and far beyond, no force on earth can ever unwind
the golden truth of this great bond.
a match destined to create a kinder world, forged with laughter, passion, and love. A poem for my eternal love, my Noryel, by your walker.